everybody, happy Thursday. I'm Pia from Stitches and Scraps, and this is Lunchtime Live, episode 78. So for those of you who are new here, Lunchtime Live is basically my video newsletter for Stitches and Scraps. So the main thing is I'll tell you everything that's going on the blog, what's coming up, all of that kind of stuff. And then at the end of that, I'll do a quick demo, usually on a knit or crochet technique. For this year, what I've decided to do is I've decided to do a stitch of the week, and I'm alternating between knit and crochet stitches. So for this week, we have the knit beaded rib stitch, and next week we'll have a crochet stitch. Now, if you're following along and you want to see any of the things that I talk about, like I show a new pattern and you want to see where I can get that pattern, look in the description on the video. Hi Beth, hi Kendra. Look in the description on the video and you'll see a link. That link takes you to a blog post, and in that post I have a whole list of all the links you're looking for. So anything I'm talking about today, you can find in that list of links on that blog post. Excuse me. My mouth got dry all of a sudden. Anyway, so let's get right into it. Beth, Kendra, I hope you guys are having a good day. Let me know what's new. Feel free to chat. If you pop in, say hi so I know you're here and I know who's watching. What's new on the blog this week is I did 2 tutorials. The first one has to do with our bag along, crochet along that we're doing. And this again is our first bag. And this is the last time you guys are gonna see it, because now we're gonna be finished with it at the end of this month. How can I do a ribbon type of thing, bow type of thing in knitting without using extra yarn to sew it in? I'm not actually entirely sure what you're asking on that. Let me get back to that when we get to the demo section. I'll revisit that. And you just got your first vaccine, so congratulations. That is a good step. That's a great step. I hope everybody out there, if you have not got your vaccine yet, go get your vaccine and then get all the boosters and everything. It is worth it, even if you get a little bit sick when you first get it. Like a ribbon bow. You know, I don't have a pattern for a knit ribbon bow right now. I would think you would just knit a cord and tie it into a bow if you wanted like that. But I think I know what you mean. Like I have a crochet bow like that, where you actually crochet the bow itself. I haven't done a knit pattern like that though. You would probably, the best way, the easiest way to do it would be to take a long rectangle and fold it into the bow shape and then like sew it shut in the middle. A lot of times you can actually take like a tube and wrap something around the middle, depending on the look you're going for. There's a lot of different ones out there. Here's what I'll do, Kendra. I will take a look for some patterns for you, and I'll pop it into the comments on this video after I'm done recording. So give me like till tomorrow and I will take a look and find you a pattern or two that I think is what you're looking for. But that's a more complicated question. I think that needs a whole pattern. You know what I mean? So let me go find that for you and I'll share it after I'm done with the video. But meanwhile, let's go to what is new for this week. Okay, great. All right, so okay, the bag along. The bag along is the first bag in the bag along we're going to be finished with at the end of this month. The last tutorial came out this week, and that was for the surface crochet over the seams. So let me pop this down here real quick. I want to see which edge here. I'll show you this edge because the green shows up better. And obviously this is felted already, so you're not going to see the stitch definition. But if you look here, we did some surface crochet when we changed colors. So we got that nice smooth line, right? That was our first tutorial for this bag. For this tutorial, we did matching surface crochet over this edge to get a nice smooth transition on this edge. So that's what this tutorial is. It's how to surface crochet over seams. And while it is specific for this bag, I showed all the different options about where to start, where to stop, you know, how to end it so that it wraps over the edge and that kind of thing. You can use that technique for all sorts of different patterns. So anytime that you have a seam, particularly like in this situation, I had two different kinds of color transitions, right? I had one where we changed color as we crocheted, and then one where it was seamed. And that's right on the front of the bag, and there's no way that was going to look great if I didn't do something to make them both look the same. So if you have a seam that you're trying to make look like another edge, you can use surface crochet to cover up both edges. And that's kind of the gist of that tutorial. Now the other tutorial that came out this week, let me put this away. Oh, as long as I'm talking about this, let me tell you, yes, Kendra, you totally should do the bag. There's still time. It does not take that long to make. And there's 3 tutorials for it. So there's plenty of information out there. This is bag number 1 in the Bag Along Cal. And February 25th is the date that we officially end the Cal for this bag. So that is the date that's the deadline for the giveaway. So even if you're not doing the bag, go check out the Cal site. And remember, all the links, you can find them by going to the link in the description on the video, right? So go check out the Cal, the main page for the Cal where it has the whole schedule and everything. And you'll see a link there to where you can enter the giveaway. Enter the giveaway, get in there. And I think I put a direct link to the giveaway, actually. I'm not sure. But check that out. And there's still time to join in if you want to do the bag. So I made the bag in like 2 days maybe. So you definitely have time to do it before we're done. The next pattern, the materials list for the pattern is coming out on March 1st. And I actually, you know, I did something I'm not happy with on that pattern. When I ordered my yarn, I don't know why, but I was thinking those mini skeins were larger. I had been working with last year, if you remember, the Lion brand, oh, what is it? They're right here. No, they're not right there anymore. But the Lion brand mini skeins that I can't for the life, DIY, Lion brand DIY mini skeins. Those are 50 grams. And the mini skeins for this event are these Brava minis, which are 25 grams, I believe. They're smaller. And they're smaller than I was thinking they were when I bought them, which is one of the perils of buying them online. No big deal, but since I've already published the materials for all the bags, I don't want to change it on you. So this bag is going to be, it's a project bag, but it's going to be a smaller project bag because I'm going to make it with the 5 skeins that I told you I'm using, rather than try to increase it to a bigger bag. But small project bags are great too. They're great for sock projects in particular. Kendra learned how to knit when she was 7. You know, I learned about that time too. And happy birthday too. Yeah, I learned to knit when I was, Mom taught me to finger chain when I was probably 4 or 5. And I did that for years, and I made jump ropes out of finger chains. And then, yeah, she taught me all the different crafting stuff, like a little bit here, a little bit there. Probably 7 or 8 is when I actually picked up, you know, knitting needles and crochet hooks and was actually trying to crochet something. Or knit something, and I did not like knitting, not at all, not one bit. And I put it down and I crocheted for decades before I decided to pick up knitting again. And now I love it. So, you know, never completely give up on something because you never know. But okay, so that's all about the bag and the bag cal, and make sure to go and enter the giveaway, and there will be a new giveaway starting on March 1st. The other thing that's going on the blog right now is this pillow. This is the textured crochet stripes pillow. And the stripes in this, there's actually 2 things going on with stripes here, right? So I've got the colorful stripes, and that comes from the yarn that I used, which is the Ogo Karen bulky yarn. Gosh, now I've forgotten the exact name of it, but it's the Ogo version of the Karen yarn. So it comes in that big donut shaped skein and everything. And it's got the color stripes from that, but the pattern itself, even if you want to use a solid color, the pattern itself has stripes of different textures. So it's got this texture here, and then this is just half double crochet. So it's got textured stripes. So it's the textured stripes pillow. And the pillow came out a couple weeks ago, but what I released just this week was a tutorial for this seam. This is a mattress stitch seam on the side, and you can see it's almost completely invisible. There's no bulk there. I'm going to pull it apart a little bit to show you. You can see if I pull it apart, you can see the yarn going through there, but otherwise it's just a very flat seam. So that tutorial is up. And to remind you, what I did on this pillow was first I crocheted a rectangle, yeah? And then I took the ends of the rectangle, and I did that right here. I took the ends of the rectangle and I grafted them together. So it looks like the first row was crocheted directly into the last row. And that tutorial came out last week. And then this tutorial, so that made me a tube, right? Oop, hit my phone. Okay, so that made me a tube, and then I took the side edges of the tube and I sewed them together with a mattress stitch. So that's how this pillow is made. But again, both tutorials, the mattress stitch and the grafting tutorial, I made them generic tutorials, so you can use them for any project where you might want to use mattress stitch or grafting. So that's what's new on the blog. Took me a while to get through that today. Normally I get through much quicker, so I'm sorry it took a while. Oh, and again, that pillow was for the crochet along from CAL Central, which was the Cozy at Home crochet along. So, all right, so that's everything that's on the blog right now. I have something very exciting coming up on Sunday. And Kendra, you totally can do the pillow. The pattern is online. You should check it out. It's linked in the description of the video. So you can do the bag and the pillow, and maybe next week I'll see you and you can show me one or the other, whichever one you did. Okay, so very exciting for Sunday. I've been involved, and it started out with just tech editing. I was tech editing some other stuff, but I've been involved with a company called Crafts on Air, and they're doing it's Crochet Anything with Rectangles Summit. So basically, it's about how to take a crochet rectangle, with whatever stitch pattern or texture you like, and turn it into all these different things, right? A lot of the information is free. You can get on there and get, some free patterns and some free videos and stuff like that. And then they have like a bonus level where you can pay to get extended access to things and more things, basically. And I don't know exactly the breakdown of what's free and what's paid, but I do know that I signed up for the free just to see what kind of stuff I would have access to and what emails I would get. And it's pretty awesome even at the free level. So I have put an affiliate link in there for that because I am an affiliate. So if you click on that and you do end up going with the paid version, I'll get a commission, a small, whatever, couple of cents. I don't know, maybe a couple of bucks even. I don't know. But totally don't have to do the paid version to have access. So check out the free version and then see what you think. On Sunday, and this is a short, the free version, at least, it's a time limited event, right? So check it out now because I think it's starting, or it just started. And then we're having a live experience to go with it on Sunday. And I'm not hosting it, I'm co-hosting it. So I've been invited to just come and hang out online while they go through. They've got some great videos they're going through and stuff like that, and there'll be question and answer sessions, and I'm there basically if anyone has crochet questions to help them out with crocheting the rectangles and seaming and all of that. And it's a 3-hour or so event on Sunday. So I've got the links again in that blog post. Make sure you check that out because I would love to see you guys there. You have to sign up to go, I think, but you don't have to pay anything if you don't want to. Okay, so that's coming up this weekend. And then I'm also working on a stuffy pattern that I've said I'm working on for probably the last month. One of my friends had a baby, and I am making I hope she's not watching this, but I'm gonna hope she doesn't watch this. I'm making a stuffed monster that matches a monster that was on this baby's pajamas in the very first picture I ever saw of the baby. So it's this cute little monster, and I'm gonna like crochet this monster. The whole reason I haven't done it yet is because I want to record it while I'm doing it, and I keep putting it off. I'm now going to see them, and I have to have this gift ready. So this is definitely coming in the next week or two. I'm going to be spending some time this week doing it. So that's going to be fun. And then that's about it for this week, what I'm working on. Next week, we'll have the crochet lemon peel stitch for our demo, which is a fun texture that I think you guys will love, and it's really easy to make too. But this week, we have the knit broken rib stitch. So let's just jump right into that if there's no questions on any of what's going on the blog. Okay, don't look at all this yet. I'm going to tell, do I have a Facebook group? Yes, Kendra, I absolutely have a Facebook group. Just look for Stitches and Scraps on Facebook. When I'm done on the video, I will toss that into the comments on here as well. But, oh, sorry, Stitches and Scraps is my page. My Facebook group is Scrappy Stitchers. So it should be, hang on, you know what? Why don't I just get you that link right now? Facebook, Scrappy Stitchers. There we go. Facebook always puts all that garbage at the end of links, right? Okay, so here we go. Here's the link without all that garbage. That, yep, facebook.com groups, Scrappy Stitchers. Okay, so go ahead and join the group. I have to approve you, so I'll do that probably after I'm done on the video, but love to have you in the group. Okay, now I don't want you to look at any of this stuff, even if I expose it right now. I first want to talk about the basics here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to first show everybody how to do the official, okay, it's not official, but you know, the way that it's most often taught, the broken rib stitch. And then I'm going to show you how to modify it for different stitch counts. So first, we just want to look at the basics. So sorry, I keep saying broken rib. This is not broken rib. This is beaded rib. We did broken rib 2 weeks ago. Okay, so I find when I'm looking at a knitting pattern like this, especially a ribbing, and I'm trying to understand the structure, I find it easiest to look at the columns. Okay, I know you work in rows, but we're going to look at the columns. Okay, so the repeat here is these 2 columns. Okay, you have a column of 2 stitches that is in reverse stockinette stitch. Reverse stockinette means that you see purl bumps always on the front, and you see V's, you know, like the knit stitch V's on the back. That's reverse stockinette. Now this column here, this is where the beaded section comes in. Okay, so this is stockinette, but interrupted by these little purl bumps here. And you can think of this section as either seed stitch or as reverse garter, because the way we make this section is whenever we're looking at the front side, we are going to make a purl stitch. And whenever we're looking at the back side, we're going to make a purl stitch. So it's, yes, that's correct. So it is like garter stitch, but instead of knitting every row, you're purling every row. So that's what you would call a reverse garter stitch. So let's look at what that looks like in a chart. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Ooh, a little more. So here's our basic repeat of two stitches right here where we're always seeing purl bumps, right? And then 3 stitches right here where we go knit, purl, knit on the front side, and purl, purl, purl on the back. Because right, if we do purls on the back, it shows like a knit in the front, right? So that's the repeat. And then to balance it out, we add 2 stitches on the end that match these 2. So it's a 5 plus 2 repeat to get this. Okay, so let me go ahead and knit some of that with you. And now ignore the rest of this for now. We're going to get into that after we knit this. Okay. Now on mine, I've added 1 stitch to do a garter stitch selvage. I will talk more about that later. Ignore this very first stitch. Okay. And zoom out a little bit. There we go. Okay, so the beaded rib starts out with, let's look just at row 1, starts out with 2 purl stitches, right? So we're going to bring our yarn to the front and we're going to work 2 purl stitches. Then we're going to bring our yarn to the back and we're working knit, purl, knit. So knit, see that's that first column of knit stitches, then purl. When I do the center bead, I'm going to be purling whenever I'm on the front, okay? And then knit for this last column. So that was that group of 3. So we did the group of 2 and the group of 3. Now we're going to repeat those. So our group of 2, sorry, my dog is anxious over something. My group of 2 is 2 purls. And then my group of 3 right here is knit, purl, knit. So knit, purl, knit. And it's basically a 3-2 ribbing that's been interrupted by that row of reverse garter stitch or seed stitch, however you want to think about it. Purl, knit. Okay, I'm going a little faster now because I want to get to the end, but I just did my 2 purls and now I'm doing knit, purl, knit, okay, and then 2 more purls. I didn't do a tinier swatch for you guys because I wanted to show you how it plays out over lots of stitches. Now remember I said I did a selvage on mine, so ignore this edge right here. I will talk more about that in a minute. Okay, so now we're flipping to the wrong side, and for the wrong side we still start with what looks like purl bumps on the front, but remember we're on the wrong side of the fabric. So these are knit stitches when you're on the wrong side, okay? So I'm doing my selvage edge, which you're ignoring for now. And now let's start the pattern. So these are knit stitches, and you can see as you look down the row, they're all knit stitches, right? So we're gonna do 2 knit stitches. Okay, and then we get to the center part, and now here we did knit, purl, knit, but look at this. On this row we want all of it to look like knit stitches on the front, right? How do you make it look like knit stitches on the front? You purl it on the back. So we're on the back, and when we get to the wide section here, we're just going to purl all of these. So purl 3. So the back side is the easiest of the repeats. It is knit 2, purl 3. And that's where I said, you know, this is really a 2-3 rib, knit 2, purl 3, right? I'm going to just finish this one and then I'll show you the front. Okay, so it's really a 2-3 rib, right? Ignore this bead in the center. What we have is 3 knits and 2 purls. So 3-2 rib, right? The only difference is we add this beaded column in the center. Okay, so now let's look at how to adjust this if you maybe don't have 5 plus 2 stitches. And I'm going to end up showing you 4 variations for every possible number of stitches you can possibly have. Let me grab my pencil here. Okay, let's start by adding 1 stitch on each side of this. And that's actually what I've done in here. So when I said I'd show you later, this is later. Okay. So adding 1 stitch on each side of this, the best thing to do, and the reason I like to do it and the reason I did it is because you can get that neat garter stitch selvage going, or you can get a slip stitch selvage or whatever you want to do. So here I did a garter stitch selvage. So here is this, this, and this are this, this, and this, right? This is the same pattern in here with the same repeat, and I've added that garter stitch selvage. That's it. That's all I've done. Every time I'm on either side, I'm going to knit the first and last stitch. So that takes me to a repeat that's 5 plus 4. So if you have 5 plus 4 instead of 5 plus 2, you can just add a couple stitches. Let's add a couple more stitches. So when we add a couple more stitches, I'm going to add 1 stitch here and 1 stitch here before the selvage, because I like having the selvage, yeah? So now we have 5 plus 6. I've added 1 stitch here, and I've added 1 stitch here. Well, 5 plus 6 is the same as 5 plus 1, right? 5 plus 6, a multiple of 5 plus 6 is like 5 plus 1 because 6 is 5 plus 1. So this is what you would do with a multiple of 5 plus 1. So I've added a stitch here, I've added a stitch here. We still have these same 3 columns, right? I didn't draw in the repeat, but here's your repeat. So we still have the same section here. We've just added now 2 stitches on each side, and I went ahead and did a stockinette stitch there. Okay? Now we drop down to 2 more stitches. Let's add 2 more stitches on the end, okay? So if I add 1 more stitch here, notice I'm adding it to the outside, and 1 more stitch here. Okay, well, guess what? I've got this 2, 3, 2 pattern going, but now I have another 3 on each side. Okay, so when I get to 5 plus 8, which is the same as saying multiple of 5 plus 3, I can actually just work this pattern, but starting with the group of 3 instead of starting with the group of 2, because now I've added 3 stitches on each side. So I could still, on this stitch, I could still do it as a selvage. Okay, I could still do my garter stitch selvage there, or I can just leave it as stockinette and do the same pattern, but now starting with the group of 3. Everybody with me on that? I don't know if I'm going too fast through this. Stop me and ask me. 1 more variation. Let's add another 2 stitches to this on the side here, and again I'm going to add them on the outside now. Okay. When I add those, and I'm taking away this repeat because this is just a repeat of this, okay? So now when I add those, I have this pattern that starts with the group of 3. So I'm starting with this beaded stitch, okay? And ends with that group of 3, which I didn't draw that in, okay? And then has 1 selvage stitch on each side. So now if you have 5 plus 1 stitches, you do this. If you have 5 plus 2 stitches, you do the original pattern that's up here. 5 plus 3 is this one. 5 plus 4 is that one. And then 5 plus 5, which is the same as a multiple of 5, right, is this down here, which is adding another stitch. So regardless of what multiple you have, you can work this stitch over it. It's just a matter of adding the extra stitches on the outside and deciding what you want to do with them. So that is, actually I'm going to hold on, I'm going to show this to you for 1 more second in case anybody wants to take a screenshot, because I don't have this posted anywhere. There you go. If you want a screenshot of the variations, go ahead and take that shot now. And now let's transfer back. Okay. So those are all the variations, and you can come back to this video later and watch them again if you want to see it. And that's pretty much broken rib stitch. Now remember, beaded rib stitch, I'm sorry. All through this video, I've been saying broken rib stitch. Broken rib is a completely different stitch, and I showed it a few weeks ago. This is not broken rib, this is beaded rib, and ignore me when I'm saying it wrong, please. If there's any questions on that, shout them out. Otherwise, remember the links to everything we talked about, all the patterns and everything are in the description on the video. I've popped that link to the Facebook group into the chat, and I think that's everything. So if there's nothing else, I will just say bye. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week, next Thursday. Bye.